Hey guys, my name is Jenn Carrasco. I am a serial entrepreneur, founder of many six-figure businesses. I am also a skincare creator, an IFBB pro athlete that is extremely passionate about helping entrepreneurs grow their business and, most importantly, helping you and everybody else to own their shit. Welcome to Own Your Shit, the podcast. This is the show where we stop the comparison cycle, we eliminate the need for a secret sauce, and realize that the faster we own the way we stand in our own way, the faster and shorter the route is to creating that life we all crave. So, with that being said, now let's own your own shit. Hey guys, welcome back to Own Your Shit with Jenn Carrasco. And again, please rate, like, review, and share. We just want to get all this entrepreneurial knowledge out there for everybody and help people to excel in their own life because it's hard to be an entrepreneur. But with that said, I am extremely excited. I have an amazing, amazing woman. She's one of my Apex girls. And I have to say that we met through social media, but it's, when you're just connected with somebody automatically and you guys are on the same wavelength and just everything blends. That is exactly how I felt about her. And honestly, I am sure the feeling is mutual, but like I always do, I let my guests introduce themselves. So I'm going to let this badass take over. So go ahead, sister.
Hi there. That was fantastic. And the feeling is mutual. So there's that. I am Dr. Nicole Coyle. I'm a PhD and a Doctor of Divinity, and I own a holistic wellness and therapy center in Arizona called Naam Arizona. And we are a holistic alternative therapy center for people who are dealing with trauma, stress, depression, anxiety. Those are most of the issues that we deal with. And any pre-existing condition that a previous therapist or trainer or doctor once told you that was permanent and there was no way to heal. So we kind of take it upon ourselves to say, well, if there was a door in, we'll find the door out for you. So yeah. So I am my everyday life, I wear many hats, I should say, and fill many roles. I am a trauma therapist, a spiritual counselor. I am a minister, and I teach breathwork called Thrive, which is a system of breathwork and sound meditation that kind of repatterns brain programming, gets rid of limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging habits. So that's me in a nutshell.
I love it. So because we're an online, we're so much online now with life, and having the clinic is amazing. But do you do like weekly, like breath work, like online with people?
I do have like an online group that get a meditation a week from me. Okay. However, I'm starting, as of next week, I'm starting twice a week on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, twice a week, 2 meditations a week, just little tools that I'm putting out there, and then starting a brand new kind of almost group therapeutic meditation site for everybody that they can come on and then get tools, because they're really helpful even for entrepreneurs, because we have such high stress and fast-paced lives and we're like spinning 1,000 plates at the same time. And I just I keep thinking to myself, my whole life I've dealt with trauma and depression, and it's admirable and I love what I do. But the the tools that I use can also be taken into any arena of life. And so I am starting that, which is the reason I started Apex, because I've always just been kind of insular in my little studio.
Yes.
And when COVID hit, it kind of forced me to think outside of the box. And so I'm just trying to get myself out online and have it available for everybody. Yeah.
I think that's phenomenal. Just because I know even myself, you know, with a busy life, I don't have time sometimes to go somewhere. So for me, if I could do something online, that's better. But even just, I mean, our whole Apex, but even just friends of mine, things like that, that I know would benefit from this, like that, it's so great. So I'll make sure that we have all of that up online for people to check out, because I do think that is huge and super beneficial. So I have so many questions because we have so much in common, even though, you know, I'm in the skincare industry and the health and wellness and the coaching, but it all goes hand in hand with everything, right?
Absolutely.
Like, when we touch people, we heal them, like regardless of what we do. That's just our gift in nature. Yes. What got you into this?
Oh, well, I definitely didn't start out with this. I was a fashion designer in New York City for almost 2 decades. And, but I wasn't well. I have suffered from depression and anxiety since I was young. And when I got to college, it kind of got out of control. I'm a perfectionist. And so I have a lot of pressure I put on myself daily about how I perform and the way I show up in the world. And kind of just got to me and broke me. And so I was trying to find alternative methods of dealing with that, because I was misdiagnosed when I was 21. I was told I was bipolar, and I was misdiagnosed and put on medication. And the medication just made me feel like a zombie. And so I did that for a few years. And that's what then I ended up becoming an self-employed entrepreneur, because the depression was so out of hand that no one was going to let me remain working for them when I had to take time off to try and figure it out and heal. And somebody just took me to a class one evening. A friend of mine said, I was really bad at the time. I hadn't gotten out of bed for almost 2 weeks, and I was in my early 20s. And she's like, I think we have to take you to this class. Or maybe it was my late 20s, but I was still in my 20s. And I was like, I did yoga as a hobby and stuff like that, and was just teaching regular yoga, like on a side, as a side gig. And she took me to this class, and I walked in. It was a 4-hour class with the founder of this particular type of meditation. And it was breathwork based and chanting. So it was breathwork and sound frequency. And his theory was that, like, we're all energy, we're all frequency. And if we can like fine tune our dial and find the frequency that matches ours, we can heal using frequency, and breath is frequency. So I ended up taking that first class, and within the first hour, I was like literally sobbing, and I couldn't stop. And at the end, I felt better than I had since I never felt that good, basically. So I did more research. I stuck with that for a while. He became my teacher, my like spiritual teacher and my guide. And he helped me get off the medication within 6 months. And I have not been on medication since. And so it's it'll be 17 years this year, medication free. And I only do what I teach. I do breath work, and I do sound vibration and other energetic tools that I use, but I don't take anything that's over the counter or prescribed. And that's what got me into it. And I thought, like, well, if I can do that for myself, right, I can absolutely like show people how to do this. If it resonates with them, if it's something that they're on board with, right? It does look a little woo-woo from the outside. And, you have to be open-minded when you walk in to a class or do it online with me. But the effects are immediate. Like within the first minute, you feel differently. So it's hard to deny, So that's how I got into that.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are more open to that.
I think so too these days. Yeah.
I feel, especially right now, like there's a lot of depression out there right now, and it's
huge.
And it's from, because I noticed that, I'm sure you notice this too, is we can get wrapped up in watching all the news channels and everything else. And then I get to a point to where I'm so pissed off that I'm so depressed that I realize, this is not healthy for me. Right. And I turn it off. And then I start listening to good music. I start doing little, fun little things. And then it goes away and I'm not depressed anymore.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So the energy collectively right now, right, is one of like angst, anger, depression. It's a lot of living in the unknown. And if we surround ourselves with that all the time, that frequency then kind of merges with ours and will switch ours. And so now we're vibrating to the lower frequency of like anger and upset and depression. And it's everywhere right now, right? If you take everybody who was locked down, lost their jobs, couldn't talk to people, like no touch, no communication. And I think that it created depression and anxiety where there wasn't any in certain people, like I realized that some people that I know in my life had never experienced those until this last year. Yeah. And so it's so prevalent right now. And I think that there has to be outlets for people to be able to heal and feel better. And that is why I show up every day. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I don't do this, where are they going to go? Right? Like, what are their choices? And so, so that's it.
No, it's your passion. And I love it because that's what you were gifted.
Yeah. And I think out of like our own issues, right, or our own struggle, we end up finding our purpose in that. Do you know what I mean? Like, my depression was a thing for me. It still is. I just got out of a 2-week bout of a depression, but I managed it very differently this time because I'm in apex and you can't just stop, and take the time off. And so I was like, well, this will be an interesting experiment. Like, do all of the things I know how to do to heal myself while trying to do all of this work. That's an interesting take. And so I think like the things that other people would view as like struggle or pain in us are actually blessings and gifts because they teach us how to be stronger. They teach us how to find alternative ways to walk through life. And that's kind of what got me into the trauma field too, is because I had trauma at the age of 17. I was sexually abused. And, I thought like, there's no way, like there has to be a way to get out of that feeling of like shame and it's my fault and like and that led me down like that alternative spiritual holistic path. That's exactly why I started that. And then, the breathwork combined just makes an interesting tool for trauma. Yeah. So.
No, I love it. So the talk that everybody gets on my show is, what was your oh shit moment?
My oh shit moment in the like arena of that changed
like owning
everything.
Your shit. Yeah. Like,
okay, owning my shit. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a big one. Yeah. I would say, okay. Yeah. I've had a couple. So the first one was I chose to everything that I did was my choice. Right. So I chose to be in a relationship that was not healthy, narcissistic, abusive. At the same time, I had opened 2 businesses, right? And I was living in Connecticut and the abuse got so bad. It was verbal and mental. And it got so bad that I ended up, it was an almost a resentment on their part for me owning businesses and not dedicating all of my time to the relationship. So what I did was I ended up letting my businesses go. They were busy. Like I've never closed a business because it wasn't busy. I closed it for reasons of I wanted to be liked. I wanted to fit in. It was definitely an insecurity thing. And the shit hit the fan one day. And it was like somebody hit me over the head with a 2x4. And I was like, you've done this your whole life. You have morphed yourself, like kind of, become a chameleon for whoever is around just so you can be liked, accepted, and loved. And what the hell is that from? And when I had the realization, it was like, oh, I thought I healed that, but I didn't. because it showed up in every part of my life until I was like 33. And I thought, oh my God, you have to change this. This is crazy. Look at all the things you've self-sabotaged. Look at all the things that were going well, but you doubted yourself. You talked yourself out. You stopped because somebody else didn't think it was a good idea. I've always been a really strong-headed, like kind of strong-willed human being and very independent. And for like about a 10-year span, I had given all my independence away and let other people dictate who I was and what I was doing. And I thought, my God. Well, anyway, I shifted immediately. Like I ended the relationship. I moved out. It was like all in one day. I was like, oh my God. And I moved out. I didn't even have a place to go. I was just like, that's it. And then like in 3 weeks, opened another business. I was like, okay, here I am. And I swore I would never do it again. And it's been a test. I have been tested since then with similar relationships that I find myself in. But as soon as the red light goes off, and that's like that similar sentence, I'm like, oh no, I'll give this away before I give me away again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of them. But it was abuse that got so bad that like there was no way to ignore it anymore.
Yeah.
And it definitely wasn't their fault. It was like I kept putting myself in the same situation,
Yeah. How do you, because you never know who's watching this, right? Or going
Right.
through something. How did you have the confidence? Because a lot of people do not have the confidence and they're not strong-willed like we are. How did you get that confidence to just push up, relocate, move, do what you needed to do, start fresh, not knowing,
Right.
and being uneasy? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, okay,
totally.
what's happening? How do you do that?
I think for me, the pain of staying was going to be greater than the pain of leaving. Do you know what I mean? Like the pain of staying was getting deadly. It was like there was like physical violence was being threatened. And it was like, if you do not go, you may end up dead. And I definitely didn't want that. And so I think one night, it was literally the night I decided. I was thinking about it. I can't say that. I was thinking about it. And then I was at a restaurant that I was working for, and the person had come in and said something so profoundly disgusting in front of customers and everything. And I thought like, wow. But it was, for me, it was universe saying like, this is really who they are. You need to see it, because if you do not leave right now, you will not be existing for very much longer. So I walked home. We were living together, and I walked home and he wasn't there. So I locked the doors, barricaded them, called the cops. And I just like called my father, who lived hours away, and was like, listen, I'm leaving and I don't think it's going to be a good thing, but like, here's where I am. I don't know where I'm going tomorrow, but I have to be out by the morning. Right. And I had just reached out to as many people as I could to tell them my plan so that they could be of support, which I don't ask for very often. I'm not a person that asks for help or support. Now I do, but I wasn't. And I just thought like, you need to leave, and you need other people like who are going to like help you do that, because I didn't know if I could do it on my own. And so when I did that, somebody reached out and said, hey, I have a place you can stay. Right? It's like everything fell in line. And so it became quite apparent that this was the right decision. And it became just like this will of God thing. Like it was, you have to go. You have no idea what's going to happen. And I don't know if it was confidence. I just think it was survival at that point, So my advice would be to just tell everybody. Like, I think when we can't find the courage to leave, we haven't told anybody really what's happening, like in its full capacity. And I think if you tell everybody the truth of what's really happening, people will come out and support you and like help you navigate that transition. Do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So I was having this conversation with Nicole, and I thought this was really cool. So anybody who wants to go out to Arizona, what she does there is amazing. So can you explain like every detail that you do in your clinic?
Sure. Yeah. So we are like a full-fledged wellness and therapy center. And we have a medical director who is a doctor of Chinese medicine. So we have that here. We have herbal medication, and we do acupuncture, cupping, moxibustion. We also have energy work treatments. So we do Reiki, and we do something called harmonium healing, which is an energy work based in the tree of life, looking at your body as a tree of life, and to unwind trauma that's generational and that comes in through lineage. So that's another thing. We do sound healings with gongs and crystal bowls and all of that because it's frequency here.
Yeah.
We do what's called Thrive Breathwork. So it's therapeutic breathwork. We have regular yoga classes. We have fitness boot camp classes.
Wow.
We have chair classes for elderly. We have hypnotherapy, EMDR, and we have what's called a biomat, which people can come and book sessions and lie on. Yeah. So we have everything.
So do you do frequency waters there?
We have done frequency water. Yes, we've actually given workshops where we'll sing specific mantra and have everybody create their own. Yeah, we do. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So the company that I used to have in my clinic, which was Osmosis, they do a lot of the frequency waters.
Frequency waters. Yeah.
I train for them for like,
oh, that's so cool.
Stuff like that. Yeah. But they did all of that. They're very, very holistic. Actually the one girl's out in Arizona near you, but
oh, wow.
Yeah. So even like my one girlfriend does the acupuncture, but she does it for facelifting.
Oh, yeah. That's rad. That's cool. So,
yeah. So anyway, I thought, all that.
I love that. Yeah. We do. Most people come here for acupuncture for like pre-existing injuries, pain management, and a lot of mental stuff like emotional baggage that they're holding on to. So I don't really know how we became the center for trauma. It just kind of happened. So, but here we are.
No, I think it's great. And your social media is incredible. So,
thank you.
Put that out there for people. So, do you feel like there's anything that you like want to talk about, something that you're passionate about, that you feel like you want to voice that out to anybody?
I think for me, the one thing I strive to kind of communicate every day as best I can to everybody would be to remember that you're here for a purpose and that that purpose was designed with great intention and you were created specifically for whatever that gift is in your heart. And I know some people are having a hard time figuring out what that is, their purpose or their why. And I would like to teach people how to be able to do that, but like get out of their heads a little bit and get more into their hearts. And I think the easiest way for me to do that and teach people is through breath work. Like I'm really passionate about breath work. I think it can heal anything and transmute most things and transform everything. So it was the first thing we ever did when we were gifted life.
Yeah.
And so for me, it is the key to everything. It's the key to all disease. It's the key to all mental and emotional illness. Yeah. I think it's go back to basics. And the most basic thing is breath. So, yeah.
So I have something that might be kind of cool and maybe you're into it. I don't know when I can schedule it, but we can schedule like a podcast like this, sure. But we'll do it on breathwork.
Oh, I'd love to. Absolutely.
And you and I could like do a breathwork, and then we could take that and upload it on the Instagrams and Facebooks and
absolutely.
And kind of give people an essence of what it's all about.
Yeah, I would love that. That'd be amazing.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll schedule it. So we'll schedule it when we get off of here.
Awesome. Yeah, because I think, right, we're like we were talking about earlier, everybody's so stressed out right now and there's so much anxiety. And your level of stress and anxiety is directly related to how many breaths you take per minute. And so most people are taking 12 to 20 breaths a minute. That's a lot of breath, and that's shallow. And then the brain is interpreting it as you're in danger, right? So if we can teach you how to reprogram your breath and that brain body connection, we can shift your whole life. That would be incredible. Yeah.
Well, especially even for me, like as an athlete, an athlete, an entrepreneur, I noticed that I just go, right?
Yeah.
And so, of course, our adrenals are just through the roof because that's just how they are, because we're built that way. But for me, it's really hard to meditate. And I think a lot of people struggle with that, right? Like,
absolutely.
My meditation would be taking a walk outside.
Right. Right.
I should learn to sit with myself for 20 minutes, but it's really hard for me. And so if I could give myself like a task to do while I'm doing it, I feel so much better. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. Like, it's not just me.
Oh, no, it's everybody, because I think everybody has a preconceived notion about what meditation is, right? Everybody thinks, it's been programmed into us through like media and magazine articles that you have to sit and be still and be quiet and empty your mind. Number one, that's a myth.
We meditate when we have sex, right?
Absolutely. Right? That is a meditation.
Vision, like, right?
That's right. But you also know that like when you're in the gym working out, that is a meditation, right? It's a meditation for the health of your body. Yes. Meditation is anything, and I mean this sincerely, it is anything that gets you to a place of internal peace, right? Recently, I was in another group and they were having the same conversation about meditation, and everybody, especially the guys, were like, there's no way I can sit there like on the floor and be like, my eyes are closed and like get anything out of it, or they fall asleep or they're bored. And they're like, my mind's all over the place. And they think that it has to be empty, but it doesn't have to be empty. So I said to the one guy, what is your favorite thing in the whole world to do? Like, what's your favorite thing to do? And he's like, my God, at the end of a busy day where like my brain's been used too much and I'm running, I love to sharpen knives. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, so that's your meditation? He was like, what? And I go, what happens when you sharpen the knives? And he's like, it's that sound. I go, right. You're focusing on the sound. It's repetitive. There's a frequency to it, right? You're moving. There's some kind of movement, and you have to breathe, right? There's all of the components of meditation in knife sharpening. So that becomes your meditation if it brings you the most peace. And he was like, oh my God. And I go, meditation is whatever makes you feel at ease. Whatever makes you feel like you have space to breathe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, that's my meditation. I never, like this ADHD brain could never sit still. I mean, you see me, I'm like, and go like, that's not my deal. So meditation is breath or chanting. I do chanting meditation a lot because it gives me words to focus on, right? So it's different for everybody.
I'm excited. I'm going to get a couple other people on it and we're going to do it all together, and we're going to.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be great to educate the world that like meditation could be laundry if you love it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. If that's your not mine either, but I do love to clean though. I have to tell you that cleaning the house is meditative for me. Yeah.
It is. I get in my little splurt where I'm like, okay, I need to clean everything now.
Right. Yeah. Because it's satisfaction, right? Like it's clean. It looks orderly. There's like discipline in it. There's no more chaos. And that's what meditation does, right? It's discipline, no matter what it is. It takes the chaos and turns it into clarity. And so it's just like, it's anything that can do that for you. Yeah.
And it's funny. People ask me, why do you compete? And honestly, I'm like 3 weeks into my show and I say to myself, why the fuck am I doing this to myself again? Like poor, right? Yeah. I'm killing myself to compete. And But what I realize is that when my brain is discombobulated, so when I found myself in a dysfunctional marriage, I started competing, right? It was my outsource.
Right.
And I haven't competed in 2.5 years. But my brain is so discombobulated with everything that's going on in the world, right? And my work transitions and things like that, that I'm like, I have to compete. It's weird. It's like, it's something that keeps me aligned.
Yeah. It's a source of discipline, and it's also a source of reorganization for yourself, right? Like it's a harmonization. You know how to get back to the state you want to be in. And because your brain made a connection the last time that you competed, that's where it goes to now, right? So it's like, ooh, we can compete, get everything back in order again. Yeah. Yeah. Even though I watch you and all you guys who are doing it, I'm like, that's crazy.
Like, I know. I'm done. 3 more weeks, I'm done.
Yeah. But yeah, you just made a brain body connection. It created a pattern that your body quite liked and that your brain did well with, and yeah.
So, I love this conversation. So
I love it too.
Thank you for taking some time and hanging with me.
My pleasure. Always.
I'm so excited that when you're like, oh, I'm totally game, I'm going to do it. I was like, great.
Yeah. Well, I was honored to be asked, believe me. Yeah.
So where can people find you? I mean, I'm going to have it all on there anyway, but where can they find you?
Sure. So on Instagram, I'm Dr. Nicole Coyle, Coyle. And on Facebook, I'm Nicole Lynn Coyle. On both Facebook and Instagram, you can find our center, which is Naam, Naam, Arizona. Naam means Neural Activating Advanced Meditation. So NAAM, Arizona. And then I'll send you the link for if anybody wants to join and take classes and meditations of stuff that's already up. And I upload new things every week.
I love it.
And then the meditations that we'll be doing online twice a week will just be on the Instagram and Facebook pages of myself, not the center, but of my personal page.
No, that's awesome. So someone that would possibly be interested in coming out there, do you if they were to stay in Arizona, do you do a couple days where they would come in and get services done and then can go?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So we can do concierge packages, to where you're visiting, and we can put a whole day together or a whole 2-day package, depending on what you're looking for. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. Cause I know a lot of people are interested in that stuff.
Yeah, we have somebody coming. I think somebody from Apex is coming to Arizona next weekend, and they asked the same thing. And I'm like, yeah, definitely. Just let me know what you're looking for, and we'll put it all together. Yeah. I also do once a year, I lead a retreat up in Sedona. So it's funny that you're going there. And I lead a retreat every year, around February. It's just for women, and it's based in everything I do. And we bring practitioners to the house, and we do all of the things for 5 days. Yeah.
Please, put my name down for that, because
I will.
Nothing planned in February, as far as I know right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
That would be a blast.
Yeah. So I'll send you that link too, because we have a whole website for that. And I'll send you the link if you want to share it with your audience of retreats. We do wellness, holistic retreats. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That'd be fun. So,
yeah.
Well, thank you for hanging with me. So
you're welcome.
You need to go check her out. She's awesome. And thanks for hanging. And I appreciate you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. It was such an honor. I appreciate the time.
Well, guys, that's a wrap for another episode of Own Your Own Shit. Now that this is half the battle, owning your shit allows you the freedom to create something even better in your life. Getting out of your own way, it doesn't have to be lonely. Making sure to follow me for more advice. Follow me on every social media platform at Jenn Carrasco. My Instagram is Jenn Carrasco with 2 underscores. Find me on Facebook at the same name. And of course, share the episode with friends
who need some help in the tough times, and typically helping them to own their shit. So with that being said, see you guys next week.